Good morning, sir. Good morning, classmates. My name is Edgardo A. Masalta Jr. Together with my group mates, Miss Isnia Pakiludin and Miss Padswina Jayari, we are going to discuss about the broodstock management. So, in terms of broodstock management, there are 8 things that we must consider. First is the selection of broodstock. Second, sex determination. Third is source of broodstock. Fourth, broodfish ponds. Next is the segregation of broodstock, stocking density, feeding, and care management. So first, I am going to discuss about the selection of broodstock, sex determination, and source of broodstock. The source of broodstock, broodfish ponds, and segregation of broodstock will be discussed by Ms. Isnia Pakilodin, and the feeding and care management will be discussed by Fadswina Jayari. Now, what is broodstock management? So, broodstock management refer to the practices and techniques used in the aquaculture industry to care for and maintain the breeding stocks of aquatic organisms such as fish, shrimp, and mollusks. So, the goal of broodstock management is to ensure the health, genetics quality, and reproductive success of the breeding population. This includes providing proper nutrition, disease prevention, monitoring reproductive performance, and selecting suitable individual for breeding to maintain desirable traits in the offspring. So, broodstock management play a crucial role in the sustainability and efficiency of aquaculture operation. So, one of the main aspects of broodstock management is the manipulation of environmental factors. This can include adjusting water temperature, light exposure, and diet to mimic the natural condition that triggers spawning in the wild. So this adjustment can help stimulate gonadal development, which is the maturation of the reproductive organs necessary for producing eggs and sperms. Broodstock management also involves strategies to increase the number and quality of egg produced. So this can be include selective breeding programs where fish with desirable traits are chosen to reproduce. So the first thing that we must consider in broodstock management is the selection of broodstock. Selecting of broodstock is an crucial step, especially in aquaculture, as it directly influences the quality and productivity of the offspring. So now, why is the selection of broodstock is crucial? Well, it is because the quality and productivity of fish or offspring directly depend on the parents or the brooder. So it is an important steps because it determines the quality and productivity of the offspring, making sure they have the best chance of thriving and being successful in fish farm. So we have here a guides in selecting broodstock. First is the age and maturity. It is important to choose broodstock that are old enough to reproduce and have reached the right stage of maturity. Next is good health. So broodstock should be in good overall health. They should not show signs of illness or disease. So healthy broodstock have a better chance of producing healthy offspring. Next is no body wounds. It's important to select broodstock that do not have any wounds or injuries of their bodies. Wounds can be sign of previous injuries or infection which may affect the overall health and reproductive capability of the fish. Number 4 is no fin or body deformation. So broodstock should have normal fin and body structure without any deformities. So deformities can affect the fish ability to swim, feed, and produce properly. Next is no parasite. So it is important to choose broodstock that are free from parasites. So the parasites can negatively impact the health and well-being of the fish, affecting their productive capabilities. Next is the well-developed gonad. So the gonad is the reproductive organ of the fish. It is important to select broodstock with well-developed gonads, as this indicate that they are ready to reproduce and produce healthy offspring. So in selection of broodstock, we must select the breeder one by one. So mature breeders are brought into hatchery buildings, and the immature breeders and unhealthy or invalid fish are put back into the storage pond. So this selection process is important, especially for the female, whose maturity should be thoroughly checked to ensure the success. Next is the sex determination. The identification of male and female is important for controlling the sex ratios of broodstock management. So in many fish species, male and female have different body shapes. So male may have a more streamlined or elongated body shape, while female may have a rounder or fuller body shapes. So observing these body shape differences can help in identifying the sex on fish. So we have here the position and appearance of the genital papilla between male and female tilapia. So in male tilapia, the genital papilla is elongated and pointed. So the genital papilla of male tilapia may be more prominent and can be sometimes have a slightly hook or tapered shape. So in female tilapia, the genital papilla is shorter and rounder compared to male. So the female genital papilla is typically more rounded and less elongated compared to male tilapia. And next, we have the source of broodstock. The source of broodstocks refer to where the breeding or individual use in aquaculture operation came from. So it could be a specific origin or a supplier who provide this individual for fish farming. So the source of broodstock is important in broodstock management because it can determine the genetic quality, health status, and overall performance of broodstock and their offspring. So choosing a broodstock from a reputable source ensure that the fish farmer obtains individual with desirable traits leading to healthier and more productive fish in the aquaculture operation. So in sourcing of broodstock, this may come in hatcheries or in a wild caught. So in hatchery, they play a crucial role in production and supply of high quality broodstock for various fish and shellfish species in aquaculture. So they are specialized facilities that focus on breeding and raising fish and shellfish to produce broodstock with desirable traits. So one of the key activities of hatchery is selective breeding. So the selective breeding program involved carefully choosing parent with fish-specific desirable traits such as fast growth, disease resistance, and good reproductive performance. So these traits are considered important for improving the overall productivity and quality of the broodstock and their offspring. So in certain cases, broodstock may be captured from the wild, especially for species that are not commonly bred in captivity or for which there is limited availability of hatchery produced broodstock. However, it's important to consider the potential risk associated with using wild caught broodstock. So one of the main risks is the potential introduction of diseases. Wild caught broodstock may carry pathogens or disease that can be transmitted to the offspring or other individual in the aquaculture facility. So these diseases can have a negative impact on the health and productivity of the broodstock and the overall operation.
Hatcheries. Hatcheries are specialized in the production and supply of high-quality broodstock for various fish and shellfish species. These hatcheries often employ selective breeding programs to produce broodstock with desirable traits such as fast growth, disease resistance, and good reproductive performance. So when we say hatcheries or hatchery, it is a facility where we breed and culture aquatic species such as fish, shellfish, and also some crustaceans. The broodstocks from hatcheries are typically of high quality as the experts have controlled certain parameters to produce a desirable and satisfactory species. Wildcat, in some cases, broodstock may be captured from the wild, especially for species that are not commonly bred in captivity or for which there are limited hatchery produced broodstock available. However, wild-caught broodstock may carry risks such as disease introduction, genetic variability, and potential environmental impact. Broodstock tank. When we say broodstock tank, it is a container where we place the species we are breeding, and usually in a rectangular or circular shape with depth of 1 to 2 meters with diameters ranging from 1.5 to 3 meters. Also, commonly it is drainable and are located near a water supply for convenient water management. In addition, there are two types of broodstock tanks, which are fiberglass tanks and polyethylene tanks. Fiberglass tanks are durable, corrosion resistant, and relatively easy to clean, making them suitable for long-term broodstock management. They are available in various shapes and sizes and can be customized to accommodate specific breeding requirements. The disadvantage of using fiberglass tanks is that fiberglass tank is heavy and at the same time expensive. Next is polyethylene tank. Polyethylene tanks are lightweight, portable, and cost-effective, making them suitable for small-scale broodstock management or temporary breeding setups. These tanks are available in a range of sizes and can be easily moved or configured as needed. Furthermore, there are species in which adapted to outdoor rearing conditions. Outdoor pans, for species that are adapted to outdoor rearing conditions, natural or artificial pans may be used for broodstock management. Pans offer larger volumes of water, natural sunlight, and a more natural habitat environment, which can be beneficial for some species' reproductive behaviors. So for this kind of species, natural or artificial pans are suitable to use for broodstock management. Next is segregation of broodstock. So segregation of broodstock is about putting the male and female into separate tanks to avoid unwanted breeding. So at least 3 to 4 months before breeding seasons, the broodstock are removed and stacked in segregation ponds. It is desirable to segregate the males and females into separate ponds to avoid unwanted spawning. In segregation pond, the stock is maintained under uncrowded condition and fed on protein-rich feeds to help in gonadal development and to keep them in a healthy condition. Next, stocking density. Stocking density is about the number of the broodstocks put in one tank, including the ratio of the female and male of the same species. So, in indoor tank, the stocking densities ranges from 1 to 6 breeder per square meter at 3 is to 1 to 5 is to 1 female is to male ratio. Outdoor pans, stocking density ranging from 1 to 10 broodstock individuals per 100 square meters.
Feeding. If the food of brood fish is deficiency in amino acid, the vitamins and minerals, the egg development is adversely affected. The natural diet of fishes differ from species to species, so the different fish species have varying dietary needs. In aquaculture, understanding the specific requirements is paramount. By providing a well-balanced diet rich in essential amino acids, particularly those needed for yolk protein production. So we can optimize egg quality. Vitamins, essentially E and C, play a vital roles in egg healthy and survival rates. The minerals like calcium are crucial for proper eggshell formulation. So the essential fatty acids, particularly long chains, ones like omega-3s, are superstars in the broodstock diet world. So this directly influence egg quality larva survivals when even the development of the nervous system in the offspring. So providing a broodstock diet formulated with their specific needs in mind is an investment in future generations of fish. So proper nutrition translates to a higher productions of healthy eggs which improve hatching rates, ultimately leading to a thriving fish population. Broodstock nutrition directly impacts the success of future generations. After spawning, these breeding fish require a carefully balanced diet to develop healthy eggs. A 50-50 mix of protein-rich natural food sources like brine shrimp and artificial feeds is highly in carbohydrates, fuels egg productions. Once eggs are developed, the focus shifts to a pre-spawning diet with lower protein content, 30 to 40%, to prevent fat buildup in the fish's productive organs. So this two-part feeding strategy ensure broodstock have the necessary nutrients for egg development while maintaining optimal health for future spawning cycles. Care and management. The selected brood fish should be examined periodically for their conditions and for the progress in maturity and freedom from parasite and disease infection. So the broodstock nutrition is directly influence the quality and quantity of future generations of fish. A well-balanced diet throughout their breeding cycle is crucial, so maintaining the broodstock healthy is vital. Regular examinations allow for early detections of disease, parasites, or maturity issues, all of which can be negatively impact egg quality or fish health. By catching problems early and addressing them promptly, fish farmers can optimize egg productions and maintain a healthy broodstock population. Sampling procedure. Drain the broodstock tank. The first steps involve removing the water from the tank containing the adult fish. This allows for easier collections of the fish. Then collect fish individually. With the water removed, the fish can be collected individually, so this may be done using a net or other collection tool. Then transfer to a shallow tank filled with the water. The collected fish are then transferred to a shallow tank filled with water. So the shallow tank may be easier to manage and may reduce stress on the fish. Then install aeration. So once the fish have been transferred to a shallow tank, then the aeration is installed. So aeration is the process of adding oxygen to a water. So this is important for the health of the fish. So overall, the sampling procedure depicted in the image is likely part of the process of breeding of rising fish. So by the following these steps, it can be ensured that the fish are handled safely and effectively. Sampling procedure. Sedate the fish. This is the first step involves sedating the fish with an anesthetic, likely 200 ppm of 2-penexetanol. So this is done to immobilize the fish and make them easier to handle. Then transfer the fish. Once sedated, the fish are removed from the tank for sex determination. Sampling procedure. Sex determination. Gently massage the fish abdominal in the head to tail direction. This might stimulate the fish to release eggs or milk, will our productive fluids that indicate the fish sex. Females release eggs and males release milk. Observe the urogenital pore for the presence of the eggs or milk. The urogenital pore is a single opening that excretes waste and reproductive fluids. If eggs or milk are released, it identifies the sex of the fish. If no eggs or milk are released, a gonadal biopsy may be necessary. So a gonadal biopsy is a microscopic examination of a small sample of tissue from the fish gonad. So examining the tissue under a microscope allows a professional. The cannula method is an invasive procedure that directly collects a samples or productive fluids from the fish. Insert cannula. The first step involves inserting a cannula, a thin tube, a short distance into the urogenital opening of the fish. The urogenital opening is a single opening that excrete, waste, and reproductive fluids. Extract fluid sample. With the cannula in a place, a small amount of fluid is extracted from the fish. Then, analyze extracted fluid. The extracted fluid is then examination microscopically to identify the presence of eggs or milk. Eggs are indicative of a female fish and milk indicates a male fish. The cannula method provides a more definitive way to determining fish sex. Compared to the examining external characteristics, however, it is more stressful procedure for the fish and require more expertise to perform.